Board, Chairman Gerard Ahern,
Present.
Brian Holmes,
Present.
Andy Kischtitz,
Present.
Bradley Reed,
Present.
and Kay Stoner.
Present.
Perfect.
There's a full board. We're good to go.
Okay. I'll read the hearing announcement and then we'll kick off the hearing. So in accordance with Mass General Laws, Chapter 48, Section 11, notice is hereby given that Bolton Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Monday, December 21st, 2020 at 6 p.m., rescheduled from December 14th via Zoom Video Communications, Inc., to hear and act upon the application of Christopher Putenis and Robin Roberts. The applicant seeks a variance for a barn installed at 75 Spectacle Hill Road in Bolton's residential zoning district, identified on Assessors Map 1.c as parcel code. The applicant seeks partial relief from the 50-foot side yard setback pursuant to Section 250-13B of the Code of Town of Bolton. So with that, why don't we have the applicant walk us through the application.
Okay. Again, this is Chris Putenis. So basically, through a comedy of errors, I built a barn about 5 years ago without a permit. Why we're here now. And then at the time, I didn't look into the setback. I had the assumption that it was 20 feet everywhere. Obviously, my mistake. I actually started digging 25 feet closer to the house, and due to ledge, it kept creeping towards the woods to its current location. And that's pretty much where I'm at. House is on the market, and I applied for a building permit. I spoke with the building inspector and the electrical inspector, and then it got flagged at planning board for the setback.
So how much relief is the, it just says partial relief. Eric, are there any specific figures on how close to the setback?
It's
Yes, I have the site plan shown. Can the board see that?
Yep.
Yeah, can you make it a little bit bigger?
Oh, okay.
Of course.
Sure.
So here's the existing barn here, and they've identified the offset to the property line being 36.8 feet.
Okay. And it would have needed the 50, so it's like 13.2 feet. Offset radius. And so the property line that it abuts onto, that abutter, where is their house located? Or is that all woods that it?
that area right there is approximately 20 to 25 acres of woods. The house that actually abuts behind the barn is down South Bolton, right on South Bolton Road,
Okay.
which is, if I had to guess, it's at least 800 to 900 feet from the barn.
Oh, okay. And so it's not right on someone.
You can't see any other houses when the leaves are in.
Mhm.
Is this a 4.5 acre lot?
Yes, it is.
Backland lot, okay. Did you know where the property line was at the time you built it?
At the time, I actually assumed it was further in the woods. I mean, there's no markers out here in the woods. It's hard to determine.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the problems with backland lots when I was on the planning board there.
I've
Tough
been
to
here-
define after the fact.
Yeah, I've been here for 23 years and there's a couple of pins here and there, but it's really,
Yeah. I'm sure there are minimum pins knowing some of the stuff that was done 25 years ago. I don't know when you moved, when the house.
yeah, the house
built.
was built in 97
Okay.
and the lot zigzags like a lightning bolt. There's like,
Yes, it does.
you can see it.
Yeah, there's one iron rod, 132 foot mark. And-
Oh, is that? Yeah, right. Mhm.
And I don't know, is the one marking any of the other corners on that side? Yeah, there's one there, okay. But
Right.
depending on the angle you shoot,
Uh-huh.
Is there any public comment from the Gagliardi property owner?
Yeah, there's two letters that I saw, both supporting your project.
But I was talking about the Gagliardi property.
Yeah.
Right next door.
I don't know, what were the two letters from? Who were the two?
Those are my neighbors, Doug Story and Mark Edoff.
Yep, I know Doug.
Mark Edoff has the house directly next to me. We're both at the end of the driveway.
Okay,
But, so his house is on the opposite side of the property, right?
Edoff?
Yeah,
Yes,
from where the barn is, and then
correct.
and where's the Stories property?
He's actually up on Spectacle Hill. He's at the very end of the common drive.
Oh, okay, okay. So. But Eric, all the abutters received the notices?
Yes, the legal notice was sent to all the certified abutters on, that I received from the assessor's office.
So to Andy's question, you didn't receive any commentary from the Gagliardis at 426 South Fulton?
I have not. I've only received those two emails from the other abutters.
Mhm.
It was also sent to them twice, I believe, Erica, because of the paper not posting the meeting.
That is correct. Yep. Let me just take a quick look at the abutters list since we're talking about it.
Mhm.
Can you see that? This is the certified abutters list.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they
Right-
are
right
on this
there, yeah,
list.
right.
Yep.
All right. So with regard to where the barn currently is, on this depiction that Eric has, so is it your claim that all around the area, there's ledge so that it couldn't have been, at the time, you believe if you had got it permitted, you probably would need a variance at that point too to place it where you placed
I
it?
do believe so. I do believe so because I dug numerous locations and had to keep relocating because I would hit underground ledge.
Mhm.
This whole hill is ledge.
What's that?
This whole hill is ledge.
Okay.
yes, it is. Yep, that's,
Is that common, Brad, in that area, or is that just?
oh yeah, that area,
Yeah.
there's lots of ledge. There's a development that was put there at the top of the hill. I don't know whether that's the one that you're off of. It was built in 97. I'm wondering if that's the development we're dealing with.
Uh,
But,
Yeah, all the leach fields from the houses at the top of the driveway are down by me.
right, okay. That may be the one we worked on at the time. I was on the planning board in 97, so.
Is that because the leach fields were all down because of the way the ledge was up above, or?
Oh yeah, we had issues. This project I'm thinking of, we had issues with where to site the septic systems and leaching fields because it was all ledge up in there. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So
I mean, certainly to move the barn, but also to find a spot that didn't have ledge if you had to blast through, I'm sure that is not practical, even if you want to stay there in that home, to try to correct or cure the setback issue.
yeah, this has a road, I believe, right at the top of the hill on Spec Hill Road. Is that correct?
Yes, it's pretty much across from what used to be Mitchell Motors.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. So procedurally, if we were to grant the variance, you still have to go and get a formal building permit? Is that correct?
I applied for the building permit and
Oh, okay.
got the building permit. So it was the next step to be able to get the building permit.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
So Erica, on this one, where are we looking at? Where's the barn relate? Where's the,
I could tell you,
okay,
it's pretty close to the 4 on the 4.52 acres. Actually, it's on, at the one.
The one, where are we?
That's the barn, right where it says 1.c.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yep. When you said
Yep.
0.425, I was looking at, yeah.
And the house that abuts is 1.c13, which is way down on South Bolton.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah, oh, yeah, now I can see, yeah, there's virtually no real resident that you're, at least home-wise, that you're on top of there.
Correct.
Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you, Eric, for putting that up. Sir, can you bring up the application again? Oh, perfect. Oh, I'll flip through that a little bit down to the, so the first part is the relief, meets circumstances that relate to the soil condition, shape and topography, dealing with the subsurface ledge, okay. The second in the item, talking about the hardship. So one, it's the, I'm sure if he were to try to rebuild it or move it, you have the ledge issue, which is expensive, but also he speaks about the little enforcement would halt the potential sale of the home.
To be honest, right now, we lost a substantial amount of income over the last year, and we have to sell this house.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. I, can sort of empathize with people who've lost income this year. The third item, the requirement for variance was the relief be granted without substantial detriment to public good. And we speak to, it deals with just the corner and you're approaching the undeveloped wooded land, and you had, support from the neighbors, at least two of the abutters. So, we haven't heard anything negative to that point. So that would speak to the lack of detriment potentially to that public good. And the fourth item deals with nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent of the bylaws. And again, while any relief to the bylaws, there's some derogation from the, doesn't, potentially just that amount of footage given the land around it speaks to, not being substantial. So I have the information I need. Does anyone else from the board have any questions, or do we have any questions from anyone else on the call that may be in a butter? I see names, but I'm not sure what their relationship is to the application.
I don't have any questions. This is Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
I do notice there are a couple other neighbors that are in the meeting here. Do they have any comments?
Yeah, that's what I just asked. I don't know all the different names there, but they're certainly welcome to chime in if they have any comments or questions for the applicant or the board. Erica, do you have any, can you see any either questions from chat or anyone alert you that they'd like to speak?
No, abutters have, or at least residents on this call have provided any comment in the chat or have raised their hand.
Okay.
Gerard,
Yes.
would the board be interested in also viewing the photographs that were submitted as part of the submission?
Oh,
We can
sure.
look at
Yeah.
those.
I mean, I saw them, but personally, I looked on that.
Okay.
Yeah, let's bring them up so that they're open to the public to see them as well. So they have the full application. So is this from this angle? Is this would be from that side is where the side starts, where it
Correct. Where you see the downspout, that is the furthest point into the setback.
okay. were there, I think there were a few others, weren't there, Erica?
There are. Can you not see them?
Just saw one, unless they're
Yeah, I'm just seeing one.
split screen.
Can you see this photo?
Oh, there's another one. Yep.
So I believe this is the downspout he was
Right.
referring to.
Yes.
Right.
That's looking from the house.
So it would be that backside toward toward the tree line is where we're dealing with.
Correct.
Thank you. So it is pretty wide open. Are any of the ledge, is all the ledge subsurface, or is there exposed ledge as well?
Subsurface in this area, as you go up the hill, it becomes exposed. It was
Okay.
used to actually scrape the driveway off it every year and have to bring in more material. Plowing.
Okay.
And this is a view actually standing on the abutter's property.
Again, toward that downspout, which is where that property.
Correct.
Mhm. And then if you were to turn around and look the other way, you'd see nothing but woods for quite a while.
Correct, until you get to Central Street in Hudson.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. All right, so, thanks for sharing those, Erica.
No problem.
So I guess we'll give one last chance if any of the butters or residents on the line or in the Zoom meeting would like to provide any commentary. We'll give them the last chance. Otherwise, we could consider a motion on the application. Going once. Yeah. So I assume we've heard whatever commentary we're going to hear.
Yeah, I'm all set.
Do we want to, just for the record, show the two letters from the two abutters that responded by email?
Sure, that's a good point. We referenced them, but we didn't really show them, but they were very, very favorable toward the application. You want to bring those up, Erica? All right, so the first one's from Mark Edoff. Regarding the zoning variance 75 Spectacle Hill. Identifies himself and his property, a neighbor of the owners for since 1997. As he mentions down below, given the spacing on neighbors' houses, the barn structure is not close to any of our neighbors' building structures, and he indicates his belief that the location of the barn structure at 75 Spectacle Road harms no one. As an abutter, he fully supports the ZBA granting the variance for this issue. And then the second one came in from Doug and Kim Story. They're located 89 Spectacle Road. Similarly, they speak to neighbors for over 20 years. Recognize that the family's been good neighbors and good friends. The house down the common driveway, it indicates that you'd never know if a barn structure is too close to the property line or not, indicating their belief that it harms no one. Both those go toward the lack of derogation from the detriment of public good or the, derogation from the bylaws. And they, again, as butters fully support the ZBA granting a variance for this issue. Thanks for bringing those up, Erica. Any questions, Andy? You usually have a good thought on something.
Oh, I think we've got it covered. There's no other comments from the many abutters, so I think we're all set.
Okay. Does anyone want to entertain a motion or?
I guess I would make a motion that we approve a variance to cover the barn area with the caveat that no further encroachment from that building be, pushed in any further than it's already gone.
Okay.
Second,
Perfect. Thanks, Brian. Want to do a roll call, Erica?
All in favor by the board, Chairman Gerard Ahern,
Yes?
Ryan Holmes,
yes.
Andy Kishitz,
Yes,
Bradley Reed,
Yes,
and Kay Stoner.
Yes.
All right, perfect. So the variance passes. Erica, you want to just indicate the process time-wise for Mr. Pertanius?
Sure. So moving forward, I will draft the decision in coordination with Gerard, and then we'll send it to the full board for comment via email. And then once that is done, I will then have Gerard execute the decision and we'll record it with the town clerk's office. That will be done within a 14-day period. And then once it's recorded with the town clerk's office, that begins the 20-day appeal period. If no appeals are heard, then we'll notify you and we'll release the decision for it to be recorded at the Registry of Deeds.
Perfect.
Okay,
Well, good luck with the home sale.
thank you very much. And I thank you all for your time and understanding.
Have a great holiday
luck.
season too.
Have a good holiday.
You too.
Okay, so Erica, the next item, do you want to do the minutes and then do the potential new board member?
Do we close the hearing?
Yeah,
Do that after the minutes, right?
After the minutes?
mhm.
I would think so, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Erica, you're muted if you're speaking to us.
Thanks, Brian. I was doing exactly that. Yes, we should have taken a vote to close the hearing. So can we do that now, please?
Sure.
I move that we close the hearing.
second,
All in favor by roll call, Gerard Ahern,
Yes?
Brian Holmes,
Yes.
Andy Kishitz,
yes.
Bradley Reed,
yes.
and Kay Stoner.
Yes.
Erica, I sent my acknowledgement of the minutes via email to you.
That is correct. Yep, and I believe I've incorporated your modification
Yeah, okay.
here with his last name.
Yeah, I think that's the only, I just remember him when he came up on the Zoom that it showed us, that's how it's spelling.
Sure.
Mhm.
I mean, the one thing that I noticed, and it's just a technicality, is that technically a single criterion is a criterion versus criteria.
Okay,
So
yeah.
numbering them, yeah.
Honey, did you start a fire? Your what? Sorry. Thought I muted. Smelled something burning. I got scared.
Well, you did the right thing then,
Check
Exactly.
that out.
right? No protocol when there's a potential risk.
I'm like, wait a second, that does not smell right.
Right. So, other than those comments, and anyone else have any comments or?
Nope, I read them over. I was fine with them. The
Perfect.
fine points escaped me, but
All right, so. We do a motion to.
Yeah,
approve.
I was fine with them as well.
Yeah, great.
I'm good too.
I make a motion. Is that to accept the minutes?
Perfect.
Second,
And a second, fine. So everything
All
is
in
a roll-
favor? All in favor by roll call? Chairman Gerard Ahern,
Yes,
Brian Holmes,
Yes.
Sandy Kinstead,
yes.
Bradley Reed,
Yes.
and Kay Stoner.
Yes.
all right. So that's good. And then our remaining item for tonight is we have an interested candidate for the board. I believe her name is Gabriel Romano. Do you want to bring up her biography, or if she's there, does she want to maybe do one video? Hey, there we go. And
Hello.
hi,
Oh,
Hello.
how are you, Gabriel? Gabriel,
Hello.
Gabriel,
Gabrielle.
Gabriel. Okay, thanks. So Eric had a nice write-up about you, at least you shared with us. So certainly it's nice to see some new blood interested in the zoning board. It's good to involve with, participate in the town in process. That's good. You come with a legal background, it looks like.
That's right. I've been a lawyer for about 5 years and I work for the Middlesex DA's office as a prosecutor.
Mhm. Is that out of Framingham? Where do you practice?
It's all over the whole county, but my office is in Woburn.
Oh,
Well,
Woburn,
right now
up
my
there.
office is in my.
There's another, right,
Yeah,
yeah.
typically in
Court up there. Uh-huh. Yeah, great. Well, does anyone have any questions for Gabrielle? Gabrielle,
Oh, welcome aboard.
sorry.
so what is it that appeals to you about the ZBA? Is it the glamour?
Yeah. It's a pay.
None of the above.
Yeah.
No, I was excited to get involved in the town. My fiance and I just moved here in May of this year from East Boston. So, kind of like planting our roots here and wanted to get involved in the local government. So that was the opportunity. And it's probably, with my legal background, probably, the closest thing, although I don't do civil law. I know nothing about civil law or real estate law. So I'm probably not gonna bring much expertise to the table in terms of that, but
Oh, I don't know.
You're probably familiar with the Green Book. You could read chapter 40A or 40B. I mean, we run the gamut of like the types of projects that come in front of us are similar to like what we just had here, where we have a variance request. So there's certain statutory requirements set forth in the chapter 40A for variance and special permits. Sometimes we have which have their own host of requirements. We also have you'd have pre-existing non-conforming structures or that, they go to do an improvement and they may be grandfathered in, but we have applications for those that we hear. And a lot of times those happen like we just did, within a half hour, 45 minutes. If there's no real contention either by abutters where they're, opposing it, where we have a little more thought goes into it, then that, those are pretty matter of fact. That we do have then the Chapter 40B of Mass General Law, and those deal with the affordable housing type projects. So there would be where a developer would come in and on a lot that would normally say be zoned for a single family home, they could potentially file for 40B, which allows them to do a much larger density on that as long as they commit to the 25% affordable housing component requirement by the state. So they could always provide more if it's a single family house type structures, but most of them only go with the statutory. Those types of hearings, from what we've seen, really within they could take almost to the 6 months requirement that it takes to handle them, because in that type of process, the board acts on behalf of all the other boards of the town. So the 40B process streamlines it for the developers rather than having to go to all the town bodies, whether it be the public safety, whether it be the conservation, board of health, historical, all those, they funnel it through the ZBA, and then we solicit input from those different boards. But those projects take time, but we still do, we have those, at the most, we do 2 meetings a month, and generally once a month, because they usually start a process where questions get asked, then we send the developer and our peer review resources that we use to get more information about the project, and then we have hearings to review the information. And but again, the Mass General Law stipulates the time frame that we have to hear those cases on and when we have to issue a decision by. So so the 40Bs are a little more time consuming and more unique as far as a lot more not goes into them, because we have to you certainly get much more butter participation, and it's not always favorable participation in that, people could be a single family homeowner near a piece of land that you think will never get developed, and all of a sudden it's proposed for 20 homes, and it's like, whoa, so you do get a lot of good commentary and a lot of good concern, but that's the type of hearing that we, we also, when we participate in those from a board perspective, you have to be present at all of them, or if you have to miss one for a reason, to be able to vote on it, you have to then review the minutes and as well as review the audio video of that, so that you can assert that you've were present at all hearings type of thing. So those are so I say we go from half hour 45-minute type meetings to, in the 40Bs they can take an hour and a half to 2 for a given night, but then we usually then table it and continue to another day when we can have more time or more information to review an ultimate decision. So that's just a little flavor for what we do. If it still interests you after I know, but certainly it is good to have a backup resource, because sometimes you say we have currently just the 5 members, and we have requirements whether if we have a quorum, if we were down a member, some we would need to have a unanimous decision. So it's nice to have flexibility if we could have another member that would be on a case-by-case basis. If we needed, say, Brian had to be unavailable, we could then vote you in as a voting member. on that next tier, on that sort of a case, and you'd be involved with that one until its conclusion. So, good team, that's for sure. The people that are involved here are all been, helping out the town for many years, and Erica is really a great administrator to have, so we have some good resources.
When there's no 40Bs going on, it's actually kind of slow.
Right.
There was a time, I think like a year and a half ago, where I reached out to Erica and said, are you guys doing meetings without me? I haven't heard from you in a while.
My first year, it seems like almost 20 years or whatever it was, but that's exactly what happened. I volunteered in late summer. We had one hearing, and I saw the former chairman at the mall in Leominster one day. Dick Heaton was the former chair. And I said, Dick, am I off the board? And he laughed. He said, why would you ask? I said, because I went to that one hearing, and then you never emailed me since then. And he said, I told you, the beauty of it is, once the fall comes or winter, no one's doing anything, so we don't see it till next year. And a week later, we had 2 40Bs filed. So then we had, meetings all the time. But yeah, the 40Bs. We have one in the pipeline, Erica, right?
That is correct. I expect the application any day now. So
And then what?
I hear we have a big one potentially
There's
coming
the
up.
big one potential, right? Down
that's
on,
right. Yeah. At the Bolton Office Park potentially.
Yes.
Oh,
Read
interesting.
about that in the local paper.
right. So
Yeah,
that would
I
be-
saw that one.
well,
That
we
one
still
could
call it
put us
friendly.
at 10%, right?
It'll
would
put
be
us
a
at about 20.
Really?
But-
Oh, let's go. Let's do it.
Exactly.
That, yeah.
There's
that-
one thing is, I was looking at the numbers. I did a little quick number crunch, not to get into the weeds on it, but the cost per pupil, total cost per pupil at Neshoba Regional District is $20,500.
Mhm.
They're talking about $500,000 worth of tax revenue per year. And let's say you got 100 kids coming out of that place, you're going to be over $2 million in expense versus $500,000 in tax revenue. So there are going to be some interesting issues to deal with.
Yeah, I saw in the article in the paper that they were asked to go back and sort of project out a little bit of the because they want to do this that is called a friendly 40B.
Yeah, well,
Gabriel.
it's about $2,800 per unit they plan on paying in taxes,
Oh, yeah.
which versus what the average house is in Bolton, which is somewhere around 10,000 more or less, I guess.
So even if it was a friendly 40B, they would still have to file it as a 40B, and it would still come to our board. And so those are the type of things. The significance on that, if you don't know, we're subject to the 40B projects until we meet our town statutory minimum required, and or if the town were to have back in place an affordable housing plan, as well as we've heard some 40Bs within the current a certain period of time where we've accepted 40Bs, but the town lapsed their plan, my understanding. So we're really at the whim of any developer coming to us for 40B at the present time. So once we either get to 10% or we get our plan and have some success in approving 40Bs, at some point we'll get back to control over how many of them we have to hear from the zoning board, because they are time consuming. But
Gerard,
Mhm.
just to piggyback off what you just said, I did want to let the ZBA know that the planning board had put together a housing production plan committee. And that committee did update that plan.
oh,
It's in draft format right now. We're currently in a public comment period, so I will send it to the board. So that way you guys will have an opportunity to take a look at it, and feel free to provide comment back to the committee, or you can send it to me and I'll send it to the committee. Okay.
okay. Hey, Eric,
Is it
if you
still,
also,
quick question, is it still at 276 units?
In regards to what we need,
No, as to what they're proposing.
Oh, at Bolton Office Park, yes, that is what they were currently proposing. I haven't seen anything recently, but that is what they had come in with.
Okay.
Erica, if you see anything notice about that as far as if it's gonna be, if they go back to selectmen or whoever, can you let me know? I read it in the paper, just happened to pick up that paper that day. I don't always, look at the stove, but it was the Christmas time around and I said, oh, let me see what the towns are doing. And I read that and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. That would would be like, would probably go the whole 180-day process, but at the end of the day,
I would
it's
expect
two-
it to, yeah.
Right, we just had two that were 16 or 4 homes or what, and they went pretty much the whole process.
Yeah, I mean, I think this would take sort of a different shape, being a friendly 40B and having the back, essentially, we'd want this to move forward as with the backing of the Board of Selectmen. So the intention here is that they would work, as much as feasible with the town up front. They've done very little design work. They're really in a due diligence reconnaissance period of collecting data information. So there will be a development impact sort of study that needs to be done to understand the impact to schools, understand the impact to traffic. All of those things will get vetted out before it gets to you guys. So,
Right. But even with that, on a sizable project like that, I would think the town input, even though there may be some friendly participation up front, we wouldn't be able to stifle the public outcry or public commentary that usually, comes up with any of the 40Bs.
I would think the sewage disposal plant would be a major
Mhm.
hurdle in that area. That's kind of low. I also think the impact on Route 117 would be rather substantial.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're probably going to have somewhere between 700 and 900 residents
Right.
Mm.
in a project that size, and it's going to be a biggie. The question I was just wondering is, all 276 units count as affordable, which means that you've basically taken away the question is there some reasonable, I think that's an awful big pill for the town to swallow. Is there some reasonable number of units which could be worked out? Which
Right,
isn't,
because in theory, 25% would be,
no, it all counts with apartments. So,
well, right, but they designate 25%, but because they're apartment units, any of them would qualify at any point. So, right, it would put us over that 10%. But so yeah, there's a working number that like any of the 40Bs that come in, they may say friendly wise, we want 276, but as they go through that design process, maybe it scales down to something that, when it comes to us, we can still take town input in. It doesn't mean we have to rubber stamp a size. So
Yep.
we got a little bit off track, but it gives us some of the flavor, Gabrielle, of some of the things we have facing in the board.
So is that going to be purely residential? It's going to be 100% residential versus mixed use?
that is correct. So I think the intention would be they would subdivide the property. The back part would be the residential, and then Bolton Office Park would they would keep one of the quads. They would tear down I think the back portion of the building and leave the front.
Okay. Yeah, there's wetlands right there, right? Because
There are, yeah.
because those 3 houses along 117 leading up to 495, they had issues
Right.
with wetlands in the back.
yeah, no, it's wet down there. They dredged up, having talked to old timers in town, they dredged up an awful lot of what was called a swamp, basically. It was, peat moss. I mean, that was what they were dredging up, peat moss. I mean, the EPA wouldn't let it happen today, but they basically dragged up all the way down to the Berlin line. That was just a peat swamp. So
No.
there is a lot of water in that area.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they've done their homework on what their flow rates are going to be, but it'll be interesting to see.
Mm.
Well, it seems to say they've, made it work around 495 throughout the, so we'll see. But that again, it's more, those will be any of those big impacts on the town we'll have a say on from this board, because all 40
Yep.
will come to our town, will come to our board, Gabrielle, so. So they could be small items where you say, oh, it's kind of a nuisance, but there's also some big impacts that we can have on the town as well. So with that, if you're still interested, I think we should recommend to the selectmen to add Gabrielle as an associate member.
I would agree.
Yeah.
So Erica, where this is administrator, do we need a motion on that, or is that something you just take care of now based on the commentary?
I think a motion would be appropriate if the board wouldn't mind.
Okay.
I guess I'd make a motion to approve Gabrielle as an associate member.
I can,
Second.
Second that. Go ahead.
Seconded by the whole team, so thanks.
It's too late. You're on.
Yeah.
So you want to do a roll call, Erica?
Sure. All in favor? Chairman Gerard Ahern,
Yes?
Brian Holmes,
Yes.
Andy Kischitz,
yes,
Bradley Reed,
Yes.
and Kay Stoner.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, we appreciate your volunteer, Gabrielle. One
Yeah.
thing you'll need to know, or I'm sure Erica will run by some of the housekeeping things, but as a board, we're only supposed to collaborate sort of in a board quorum format. So a lot of times Erica will send emails to the board. We don't interchange or exchange communications amongst ourselves with those emails. If we have any comments, but we send them back to Erica directly. So we may all get input on something from Erica. We, technically, if we all were communicating back and forth about it, we would be holding a public, we'd be outside the public hearing for a requirement that, we have to act as a board in a public hearing manner. So, so there'll be some ground rules that I'm sure Erica will remind you, but if you see an email at some point and no one responds to you directly, it's not that they're a slight to you as an associate member or something. It would be, we route all our communications back to Erica, and if she had to get back to someone, that she would do that. So things you'll just learn as we get through with it, but just want to highlight that.
Thank you very much. everyone.
Yeah,
Right.
you're welcome. And really, thanks for your volunteer and participation, and hope you have a great holiday season.
All right.
All right. So we have a motion to close the.
We already did that, right?
Do we
Yeah,
have to
we close
close?
the-
We're all set then? Erica?
Motion to adjourn is
Motion
the only thing
adjourned.
left.
Mhm.
I move we adjourn.
Perfect.
Second.
All right.
All in favor by roll call, Gerard Ahern,
Yes.
Brian Holmes,
Yes.
Andy Kischitz,
yes.
Bradley Reed,
Yes.
Kay Stoner.
Yes.
Yes.
Good
Thank
night.
you, everyone.
All right.
Okay,
Let
good
us know when Gabrielle